Let's discuss about conditional statements in Java 11. So what exactly is conditional statements? So when you see conditional statements, they are statements which help you to control other flow of statement based on certain condition. That means you evaluate whether a condition is true or not, and based on that you will say execute this statement or not. That's what exactly mean by conditional statement. And in this we have different types of if statement comes in. Like if you see, there is an if statement, if else if ladder, and a nested if statement. All that helps you to control other set of statement based on certain criteria. So you will check, you will have a, for all this if conditions, you will have certain condition that will help to evaluate whether a condition is satisfying or not. If it is getting satisfied, then only it will let the statements inside it to execute. That's what the whole purpose of these if statements are. Now let's start with the simple if. I'll call it as a simple if because it does not have else, it does not have other types of elifs, or it doesn't have any nested if. So if you look at this, there is if condition and set of statement. This is the syntax. So syntax is nothing but how you write it. That's what called about syntax. Now in this, the condition can be any relational expression or a combination of relational expression with the logical conditions. Okay, so if you see, if this particular condition which we are seeing here, only when this is true, whatever statements you have put it will execute, otherwise not. Like I said earlier, conditional statement means only when the set of condition which you have put, it could be simple relation expression like a greater than 0, or it could be something like a greater than 0 and b greater than 0 and c greater than 0. By using this logical operators like ampersand and using relational expressions, you can even build a set of big conditions, and all that only when it is true, then only the set of statements executed. Okay. Now, here you see an example. In this program, if you see, we are initializing the years variable to 60. And whenever this years variable is greater than 18, then we are saying your age is greater than 18. So here in this case, this will obviously be telling you your age is greater than 18 because your years value is 16. Let's say if the years is 9, in that case, it might not have printed anything. Which if you look at from customer point of view or a user point of view, that's not a great thing to do, right? Because ideally when the age is not greater than 18 or years is not greater than 18, ideally it has to say that you are lesser than 18 years, but that is missing. And the whole purpose of if condition is to just say, okay, this condition true, just execute the statement. That's it. It will not do any other case like when it is false or you want to check one more condition. No, that is all not possible. Now, how to solve this? That is where our if else comes in. So if else helps you to not only say when this condition is satisfied, what is the statement to execute, but also it will help you to execute other set of statements when a particular condition does not meet a certain criteria. Like let's take an even number, odd number scenario. When a number is even, you can put that here in the condition saying if a number percentage 2 equal to 0, you can say it is an even number. If it is not, then in the else you can write it is an odd number. So else is like a fallback. It is like, whenever the if condition doesn't satisfy, it directly comes to this else and execute whatever statement. So you can always call it as like a fallback statement or an otherwise. Now how we solve this? Even in fact the ES problem which we have seen here, that also could be solved by else here, where what you can do is if ES greater than 18, you can put this as system.out.println your age is greater than 80. And after this flower braces, you can even put else and you can write system.out.print your age is not greater than 80. That also can be done using if else. So we are solving the first problem of simple if with using if else. Now in this case, if you see, this is the same example I have cited earlier. There is this number which we have hard coded here, which is 126, and it's checking whether it is even or not. If it is even, it just prints even number because it checks 136 percentage 2 equal to 0, which is even because it's divisible by 2. So it prints even number. If it is not, let's say I have given 127 or 139, which are not even because they are not divisible by 9. You will have the remainder 1, something like that. So in that case, it will print odd number. So you can think else like a fallback, or otherwise, if this does not happen, what you want me to do, that kind of thing. Now, why we have to go from if to if else? If to if else we understand because if does not have a fallback mechanism. That means whenever a condition is true, it just prints the statement. But what if the condition is not true? It doesn't do anything. That actually solved by this guy called if else. Whereas when we have this, now the other question comes up, like why we need to learn other if statements like this. This is like elif or elif ladder. Now the question revolves around like this. Let's take a scenario. Why the name else if ladder is, you can see a set of else if statements are there just like ladder. Okay, and you have an optional else. If you want, you can write it, otherwise not. The way this guy works is, whenever this condition is satisfied, it executes all the statements inside. If this condition is false, then it will give the control to the other else if in the same embedded else if statement. If that is true, it will execute. If let's say that is also false, it will go to this. Let's say that is also false. Whatever else if are there, it will keep on passing it. And let's say nothing is true, none of the conditions meet, it finally gives to else if there is an else available. Otherwise, it will just come out from this if else condition with this particular elif ladder thing. So what you need to understand in the else if is, only at any time one of the condition will be true, and even if one condition in between or anywhere is true, it will skip all the other conditions you have written inside else if and come out of it. So it tries to check all the condition, it tries to check one condition after another. Only when the first condition is false, it will passes to other else if it is false, it passes to other else if, like that. That is how the flow goes. Now understand in what scenarios this else if is used. Just remember that whenever you have more than two possibilities to check, else if fits very well. So let's understand with an example. Now see this is what I was talking about. So here in this case, if you see, the number is 155 and we want to check whether number positive, negative, 0. If we have just put if else, understand a scenario, if you just put if else, when it is positive, it will say positive, else negative. But even in the case of 0, this might not be true. So 0 also it will say negative, because if else is made only for two possible cases, not beyond than that. Then how to handle it? That's where our if else if or else if ladder comes, where you can clearly see we are checking multiple conditions. Is this number greater than 0? Yes, we will print positive. Is this number less than 0? Yes, then negative. If not, if none of them, either positive, negative, both are not there, then what is the only possibility? 0. That's what gets printed. So you can see that having multiple conditions like that help you to handle multiple use cases.